It was a lovely summer evening. The sun was going down and the air was warm but gentle. Paul sat outside his small brown house near the market. He had just finished college and now he needed a job. He wanted to be a writer, maybe for a newspaper. But tonight, he wasn't thinking about work. He was thinking about rest. "I need some fresh air," he said to himself. "I'll take a walk by the river." He walked through the quiet town and soon reached the countryside. The river was calm and peaceful. Birds flew above and the trees whispered in the soft wind. Suddenly, Paul saw her. A young girl stood alone by the water. She had long dark hair and wore a pretty white dress. Her face was full of thoughts. Paul smiled and walked closer. "Hello," he said gently. "What's your name?" She turned and smiled back. "Maria," she said. They talked for a long time. About books, music, dreams. The sky turned dark and stars began to shine. "I should go home," Maria said. "Where do you live?" asked Paul. "In the big white house on the hill," she said. "And me?" Paul laughed. "The little brown house near the market." They both smiled, but deep inside Paul felt something. He was poor, she was rich, and he was falling in love. From that day they met often by the river. Maria always looked beautiful. Paul could not stop thinking about her. One evening he said, "Listen, Maria, I wrote a poem for you, so I will show you." He pulled out a piece of paper and read, "I met her in the evening by the riverside. Her dress was creamy white, her hair tied with pride. She turned and smiled at me. I asked her name. Though I am young and poor, my love will stay the same." "You're wonderful," said Maria. She took his hand. "I love you," Paul whispered. Maria smiled. "Yes, of course I love you." She stood up. "I must go now." Paul watched her leave. His heart was full of joy. That night he went home. His mother waited for him. "What happened?" she asked. "You look happy." "Nothing," Paul said, smiling. His mother knew the truth. "He's in love," she thought. The next day, Paul and Maria met again by the river. Maria looked quiet, but Paul didn't notice. He held her hand. "I'm poor now," he said, "but one day I'll be a famous writer." Then he asked, "Will you marry me?" Maria looked at him. There were tears in her eyes. Slowly, she shook her head, then she turned and ran away. "Maria!" Paul shouted, but she was gone. Paul walked home slowly. He couldn't understand. "She loves me, doesn't she?" His mother watched him come in. She saw the sadness in his eyes. "My poor boy," she thought. They ate dinner in silence. Suddenly, there was a knock on the door. Paul opened it. A man in a servant's uniform stood there. "I've come from the house on the hill," he said. "My mistress wants to see you." "That's me," said Paul. "Of course I'll come." He was excited. Maybe Maria changed her mind. Maybe she did want to marry him. His mother watched them go. "The house on the hill," she whispered. "Those people are not like us." It wasn't far. The servant led Paul up the wide steps and into the grand house. Everything was rich. Soft carpets, golden mirrors, paintings on every wall. In the mirror, Paul saw himself. Tired, poor, out of place. The servant opened a door. Inside, an old woman sat in a large chair. Maria stood behind her. The old woman had cold eyes and a hard mouth. Her fingers were covered in rings. "So," she said, "you want to marry my daughter?" Paul looked at her bravely. "Yes," he said. "I love Maria." The old woman laughed. "You? A poor student, no money, no father, nothing. My daughter will never marry you. Paul tried again. I may be poor now, but one day I'll be a famous writer. The old woman laughed again. No, my daughter is marrying someone else. You will never see her again. She got up and left the room. Paul looked at Maria. She didn't look at him. He stepped closer and touched her arm. I'm sorry, he said. Does your mother speak for you? Maria finally looked at him. I can't marry you, she said. I don't want to be poor. I want clothes, money, a big car. But you love me, Paul said. I do love you, she said softly. But love isn't enough. Paul felt like the world had stopped. I'm getting married in 2 weeks, she said. Goodbye, Paul. Paul left the house and ran all the way to the river. He sat there for hours. She loves me, he thought, but she's marrying another man for money. After a long time, he went home. There was a light in the window of the little house. His mother was waiting. She looked at his face and hugged him. They are bad people, she said. You must forget her. For many days, Paul stayed at home. He didn't eat much, didn't talk, only thought of Maria. Then one day, he saw a newspaper. On the front page was a picture of Maria, beautiful, in a white wedding dress. Beside her was an old, fat man. Paul threw the paper away angrily, but then he saw something else. An advertisement on the back page. Story writing competition. Write a story and win $500. Send your entry before the end of the month. This is my chance, Paul whispered. He decided to write their story. Of love, loss, and hope. He worked hard every day. Sometimes he cried while writing, sometimes he forgot to eat, but he kept going. When the story was done, he read it to his mother. It's very good, she said proudly. Paul sent it to the newspaper. 2 weeks later, a letter came. He was too nervous to open it. He gave it to his mother. She read it and started crying and laughing at the same time. You read it, she said. Paul read the letter. Dear sir, we are pleased to inform you that your story has won first prize. Please come to our office on Thursday at 10 a.m. to collect your prize. Paul jumped up and danced around the kitchen. I've won, he shouted. I'll be a writer. We'll have money at last. Then he stopped. Will Maria read my story in the paper? He asked. His mother looked at him. Do you still love that girl? She asked. Yes, Paul said. I always will. On Thursday, Paul went to the newspaper office. The manager greeted him warmly. Your story is excellent, he said. Here's your prize. He handed Paul an envelope. $500. Paul thanked him and turned to leave. Wait, said the manager. Would you like to work here? Paul stared. Me? Yes, we need young writers like you. Paul left the office with fire in his heart. He was on his way. Months passed. One day, a reporter came into the office. Listen, everyone, he said. Big news. Remember Maria? That beautiful girl who married the rich man? She ran away from her husband last week. Everyone stopped working. Paul sat frozen. She left him? Someone asked. Yes, said the reporter. And her mother died last week too, from shock. The ugly old woman, Paul thought. She was rich, someone else said. So Maria is rich now. She has everything, said the reporter. Money, cars, jewels. I don't like rich women, another reporter said. Paul stood up. Maria is rich, he said quietly. But she is also gentle and kind. Do you know her? Asked the reporter. Yes, Paul said. I knew her well. The reporter smiled. Why don't you go to her mother's funeral? We need a report. Paul agreed. The next day he walked to the church. He wanted to think. She loved me once, he thought, but she chose money. At the church, many people gathered. Big black cars lined the road. Paul stood at the back. He saw Maria. She wore a black dress. She looked sad, but still beautiful. People avoided her. That's the daughter, a man beside Paul whispered. She left her husband. It killed her mother. Paul said nothing. After the funeral, he went home. His mother smiled. Good news, your cousin Elsa is coming to stay with us. Paul remembered Elsa. Pretty, young, 17, but he didn't smile. Later that night, Paul made a decision. I must see Maria, he thought. I must talk to her. He went to the house on the hill. It was empty. A sign said, "For sale." Paul peeked inside. Then quietly he climbed through a window. He walked through the empty rooms. Suddenly, he heard a noise. He turned. There she was. Maria, he said. Paul, she said in surprise. What are you doing here? I was looking for you, he said. Maria smiled. I left my husband, she said. He was stupid. He gave me money and things, but no freedom. I understand now, Paul said. You weren't afraid of your mother. You were tired of her. Maria nodded. I want to be free to enjoy life. Come with me. I have money now. We can be happy. No, Paul said gently. Maria's face changed. Her eyes became cold, her mouth tight. Rings sparkled on her fingers. She looked just like her mother. I'm sorry, Paul said. I don't love you anymore. Maria begged. You can't leave me. Paul turned and walked away. As he left the house, he felt free. I was a fool, he thought. Maria never loved me. She's beautiful, he realized. But she's cold, like her mother. I loved her beauty, not her. He walked home. The door of the brown house was open. His mother was inside, talking to a pretty girl. Paul, she said, this is your cousin, Elsa? Hello, Elsa, Paul said, and this time he smiled.